It is episode 165 of the Metal Roundtable. I am Metal Rob, and with me, as always, is the great
Carcass John over there.
Scott Waters.
That's right.
Carcass John.
And joining us for, 100 and something episodes now, Scooter Waters.
Yep. Scooter's got a bit of a voice issue, so you'll have to put up with it.
We had to do it. We had to add Scott because Rob is he's kind of known as hair metal Rob, and then I'm not hair metal at all, and so we had to have someone kind of in between.
Yeah, Scott definitely bridges the gap. Now, make no mistake, we have the unreadable logo up today because, kids, we have a Carcass John band. We have death metal in the house from Eat the Decay.
Yay!
Not you guys.
Not Eat the Disease.
Yeah,
not Eat the Disease.
Well,
no.
Trust me, we've heard much worse.
Awesome. Well, I don't really have any shout outs, man. I'll just let Carcass, you and Scott do your shout out.
I got a quick one. I got an advanced copy of something coming out in the next couple weeks on vinyl. Accuser Diabolic on vinyl.
There you go.
So
Elite
that's one
German
coming out on Brutal Planet Records is coming out in the next few weeks. It's not even on sale yet, but it'll be on sale in the next couple weeks. So
did you have anything to do with that, Rob? The mastering on that?
I did.
Okay.
Rob did. Yep, Rob did the remastering on it, and I did the layout for the vinyl and the CD and everything.
There you go, you guys. We're a one-trick pony here. We one-stop shop.
That's right.
That's it. That's my shout out.
Accuser. Okay. Well, my shout out is to the Queen of the Crypt, Queen Stephra. She's kind of down and out with a little bit of a cold, so I hope she feels better. And I was talking to Heavy Henry, the Hammer Vasquez. He was telling me about the Legion of Doom thing. Have you heard about this project? It's kind of an all-star band. It's got members of Trouble, The Skull, COC, Blood of the Sun, on and on and on. Scott Riegers is going to join in a couple from St. Vitus. Anyway, they're about to embark. They're going to play a show in Chicago, and then they're going to hit the road in Europe and do a whole spring and summer over there. So shout out to them. So pay attention to that for new music, and who knows, maybe they'll come back and do some dates here in the States. We hope so. Other than that, I got nothing.
I'm turning my speaker down. Somebody's got some loop back going on their speakers up a little loud. So let me see if I can't figure that out. Here we go. E.T.D from No Baloney and Zaloni.
Yay.
Well, Carcass, bring us into the show. Tell us who we've got here and how you know them and all that.
Well, I don't know what's in the water down in the Gulf Coast, but there's something really hideously brutal. So I lived down there for almost 18 years and got tuned into the music scene pretty carefully down there. We know guys like Hellstar and what have you, Legion, and some other bands. But man, they're PLF, Oath of Cruelty, Insect Warfare, War Master, Cemeterian, and now Eat the Decay. I mean, it's just brutal, man. I don't even know. Cryptic Void is another one. And it all seems like they're kind of cannibalize each other. They all have members from. It's like every band is an all-star band, and I don't think that Eat the Decay is any different. And maybe Francisco can get into that. But I've known Charles. We have our heavy metal barbecue down at Rob Doom's in Lake Jackson, and known Charles a long time. And we go down there and introduce ourselves to new music, and eat a lot of grub. So we have a good time. But I know Francisco just kind of off from the side because of the Cemeterian project, and I'm friends with Sawblade. Been a friend of mine for decades, and because of that project in particular, I was really sad when War Master sort of rolled off the edge of the earth, and then when Cemeterian popped up, I was all excited that we've recaptured that lightning in a bottle, but now here we are. So go ahead, guys. We are unscripted, unrehearsed, and unedited. So you are free to just have at it and give us a little background on Eat the Disease and how it was spawned from the cesspool of the Gulf Coast grind scene, and then just tell us a little bit about yourselves and the other bands, your other projects you got working.
Eat the Decay, ding dong.
Did I say Eat the Disease?
Charles, you want to
Yes.
go first or what?
Jeez Louise, sorry, Eat the Decay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Charles, you want to go?
Well, mine will be brief. I met Francisco in 06 when him and Billy brought down Insecticide for the, what was it, Noise Fest?
Yeah, something like that.
And that's also when I met Oath of Cruelty, PLF. But I've known Matt and Daniel for years, from Blaspherian through Wes, my good buddy Wes.
Rest in peace, Wes.
What's that? Yes.
Rest in peace, Wes.
The Mosh Doctor. I've just been jamming in bands. My old band, Burn the Boats, played several shows with HRA. And Francisco's always been active in a ton of bands, always playing shows, putting out CDs, tapes, whatever. And fast forward to December 2019, I got a text from Matt and then from Francisco asking me if I'd be interested in playing bass for Cemeterian. I said, sure. I don't know how to play bass, don't have a bass, but they offered me a rig and a bass, and I'd known them all, and they brought in Dave Callier on second guitar. So I was in a group of friends that I'd known for 10, 15 years at least, so it was fun. Got to jam with them, recorded the 7-inch for Dismembered and Discarded. And then that came to, it slowed down because of COVID and other commitments. So then Francisco decided to write some shorter, faster songs and Eat the Decay.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, pretty much nailed it. I mean, I like Charles. Funny enough, I actually saw Charles's old band Expletive play, and what year was that? Like 91, 92, and I didn't know Charles then. They were playing at the Axiom, and we found out much later. I found out much later that Charles was in that band. I remember seeing them play with like Imprecation and all these bands down at the Axiom, the legendary venue in Houston. It's kind of like, I guess for the DFW area, it's kind of like our Joe's Garage, I guess you could say, or our CBGB kind of thing, So that was a cool time. But yeah, Charles is a good guy to have in a band because he's like a total pro, consummate professional, always trying to practice, always trying to learn the songs. And because I think anybody who's ever been in a band has been in a band with those people that just show up to practice and aren't prepared and
Or don't show up to practice.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'll be there next time.
Trying to play.
Yeah. So it was an easy choice, no brainer to ask Charles to help out and continue playing bass on this stuff because it's easy to work with him. And our drummer JD is actually in the chat right now, and he's from South Texas, so it makes it a little difficult for us. But we do actually. We're not really a internet band. We actually are in the same room and practice, and we get together. We make the drives, and we'll go down there. And then our singer is Robert Mena, who's actually a pretty much Houston underground veteran. He started out in like mid '80s with like Dark Rain and what other bands? Plenty of other bands he's been into. I'm drawing a blank right now, but yeah, he started out in Dark Rain. He's been in bands with me before, and he's just real versatile. And he was like kind of the perfect guy to ask to sing on this. But yeah, I mean, if you dig stuff like the early grindcore death metal stuff from like late '80s, early '90s, that's kind of what we're about. That's kind of what I grew up with, listening to extreme stuff since I was a kid. So
wait a minute. Your singer was in Dark Rain? Because the first show I ever booked in Houston was at the High Chaparral it was Hellstar, Dark Rain, and Steel Fury from Alabama, which just happened to have my future brother-in-law on vocals. So see, now we've just come full circle in the state of Texas. So
yeah.
Now your drummer's from Dagra?
Yes, correct. He's from Dagra. JD, he plays in Dagra, and he's in another band called Hexea right now, who are just amazing band. It's him and his wife that kind of spearhead that project, and they're doing real well right now. And he's kind of like me, where we do a lot of different things. He's playing guitar in Annihilator, the old Corpus band now.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, nice.
Alex
yeah.
Dominguez.
Oh yeah, they're working on like a new album with Alex and JD and several other people. But yeah, Robert Mena was on the 2 Dark Rain demos from, was it 88, 89, 90, something like that. So yeah, Robert's been around a long time.
So he's changed his vocal style a little bit since then.
Yeah, well, the original, I think the one you might be thinking of, the original vocalist was Roberts something else, and he was more of a Joey Belladonna kind of singer, I guess you could say. But Robert joined the band, and they became like more
heavy.
Yeah, more extreme.
Gotcha.
I didn't know Dark Rain had a Joey Belladonna singer. Wow.
Oh yeah, I've got the demos. Next time you come up, we're gonna sit down with some Houston stuff, and we'll check it out.
Sounds cool.
Yep.
I need to hear all of that. I'm trying to find you on Instagram.
It's at EXTXDX.
Oh, okay, cool.
Quick to TJ and JD and Rosalinda in the chat. I saw them in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, Severance. There's another blast from the past.
Oh,
yeah. JD was in Severance for, like he says, 18 years now. So I think he's not in the band anymore. But yeah, he was in Severance for a while.
In fact, speaking of Joe's Garage, I saw Severance, and I want to say it was with Fort Worth's own Crucifix.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember
back at Joe's Garage. But Severance, they put out what, 2 or 3 records?
Oh yeah.
They put out a bunch of albums, as I remember. But anyway, so speaking of which, I got a sneak peek at the tracks.
That's the band you're talking about?
Yes, yeah. That's exactly the band I'm talking about.
Yep. I got a sneak peek listen at the 10 blistering tracks. Now, is that only available on tape or download, or how is that available?
Well, actually, the tape version is going to be out in a few weeks on a label out of Houston called Goat Throne Records. Who's shout out to Aaron. Aaron's doing a real good job with that label. And we're going to have a CD version through Vomit Records out of Mexico. And then LP version of this recording is going to be put out through Hell's Headbangers. So
oh, wow.
Every format will be available except,
8
tracks.
Come on, mini disc.
Yeah,
no, not. I only know one person that I think still has mini discs, and
Ruben.
That's
now you
Ruben.
know.
Yeah.
Well, now you know too. Because
yeah.
Rob does too.
Yeah.
But well, I hope it's okay to play the music, because this Friday on the Crypt, I'm gonna play a track from that group of songs.
Totally.
To kind of head up the I've got debut tracks from you guys in a local band here called Turbid North, and we're gonna start the show kicking the door down with those two. In fact, let's see, what is it? What did I put on there? Mutilated Stiffs.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's the one.
A real slow song. Something you can dance to.
Well,
right on. A slow dance.
We were practicing the other day, and I was like, "Hey, let's play that one." And when you first write songs, you name it like something that you could remember easily, and then we finally put lyrics to them, and they're like, "Oh, what was that song called? I can't remember what that song is called." But that's the one we were trying to think of, Charles. Remember? Mutilated Stiffs. Yeah. Total terrorizer ripper right there.
Yep, it is a good one though, and well, we kind of get a slow start, but then we pick up the pace with you guys. So anyway,
I'm trying to follow everything. I'm following the label. I'm trying to find everything.
You might see us looking down and writing something. That's because we're learning. You're educating us.
We all have notebooks next door. We all have notebooks next to our desk. So
let's see. Curious what bands are more specifically albums inspired them in the okay. So what are your influences?
I mean, as far as not this band, but the first band I ever worshipped as a kid, I think I was like 8 or 9, was AC/DC. I mean, to me, AC/DC is the greatest rock band of all time, but that's just my opinion. I got, maybe because that's the first band I I ever really gravitated to as a kid, because I remember my older cousin of mine used to have, this was what, like 83, 84, and he had one of those cool Pontiac Trans Ams with the Pontiac logo on the hood and the T-top, and he was just blasting whatever AC/DC album it was, and I was like, immediately, I was like, this is it. That's where everything started for me, when I was just like 8 or 9 years old, and AC/DC just blew me away completely.
So when you're not practicing, what else do you listen to? I mean, what are some things that you just sort of like your what do they call that? Not your dirty little secret, but your
guilty pleasure.
Your guilty pleasure. What is your guilty pleasure?
Bang Tango.
I mean, all day. I'll let Charles go because I'm talking too much. Go ahead, Charles.
Well, no, my guilty pleasure will probably not be for anyone that's listening to this right now. I mean, Francisco and I both have a very musical taste, but I mean, right now I'm listening to a band called Hoaxed out of Portland, Oregon. 2 girls that mix like goth and doom and rock, and it's fucking amazing, Their album is called Two Shadows, and it's been on repeat since I got it at the end of October. And before that, their EP was my buddy Shane Wilson from Wolf Skull turned me on to it, and their EP was amazing. Just couldn't stop listening to it. Look at Frazier. He loves Duran Duran. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
80s. I love 80s pop. That's what I grew up in. I mean, 80s pop is just, it was always on the radio. My older sisters would always have the Casey Kasem top 40 thing on the weekends, and that's just what I first heard, as a kid before I got into heavier stuff. But I still listen to, the Go-Go's.
Fuck yeah.
Sorry. What else? All kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. So yeah, there's no such thing as a guilty pleasure for me. I like what I like, and that's that.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Same here. I
can listen to, like, the thing that Carcass has really brought to the show is the element that I don't get, which is I don't mean I don't get it. The element of music that I never heard, which was all the extreme stuff. Because Scott and I love thrash, heavy thrash, all the way down to, glam metal and stuff like that. But man, Carcass has turned me on to Forebode and Turbid North and you guys and just all this cool shit. So you can listen to the Go-Go's and listen to Slayer and then listen to Eat the Decay, and that's fine. It's all good. We don't
There's
have
nothing wrong with that.
Camps,
Yeah, I mean, totally. I mean, I'd rather, not that I'd rather, but a lot of times that's all I'll listen to is stuff that's the furthest thing away from what we play,
Mm-hmm.
And Conjunto's one of JD's right. I grew up, my parents blasting Spanish, Mexican norteño music. I'll listen to that in the truck, because that's where I do most of my listening, is in the truck. So
right on. I work from home, so I get to listen to most of the music at home.
Yeah, I played a bunch of stuff today, man. I listened to everything from you guys to a band that I didn't realize was from DFW, even, called No Respect, and it's like a total hair metal. But yeah, I was all over the map today.
Oh yeah,
metal, interesting.
See, the thing is when you in Dallas, Fort Worth, we have extreme weather patterns. I mean, we literally had lightning and thunder as it was snowing. So it's the most ridiculous thing you've ever experienced. But when you get locked down, it pays to have a large music collection. As
Right.
long as you got power, it's all good. And if you have to charge your phone, you just manually lift the garage door, run your car for a while, and plug in the phone. And so you'll get your fix one way or the other. But but yeah, I've been doing the same thing. I've been burning through you guys. I've been going through a few tracks that I want to play on Friday. And then, of course, we always have to play Osric Tentacles in my house, because that's what we have to do. And Rob loves them, and I know Scott does too. But
I do.
But anyway, Charles can attest to this. Like when I go south and we huddle up at Rob Doom's house, we all just literally sit around this giant portable stereo and boombox, and we just jam out everything from Yngwie Malmsteen and Michael Schenker to grinding imprecation, insect warfare. It's quite an eclectic group of listening, but you know, I think that you broaden your spectrum that way. I mean, and to me, my opinion is kind of like yours. If it's good, it's good. I don't care who does it and what it is. And someone said Flock of Seagulls. Man, those dudes rule. I love Flock of Seagulls. But anyway, there's my guilty pleasure, but I'm not guilty about it at all.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned, because like some of the shows I've watched, I've seen you guys mention that Osric Tentacles band, and I actually was where was I? I don't know if it was in Dallas or Denton or somewhere, and I just went to the store, and sure enough, there was an Osric Tentacles LP. I'm like, oh shit, this band is real. I thought it was a made up band for a while.
No.
I wasn't sure. You know?
No, they've got like 25 albums out.
Oh wow!
And an unbelievable amount of live stuff out there and videos. It's insane. And
now that's Fuckstick over there. He's gotta get OT in every damn show, and he's almost done it.
Say it, Rob. Say it. OT.
Ostrich OT.
But if you listen to it, you'll understand why I like it. Because I think to me,
they're great. Yeah, they're great.
It's prog.
So
definitely prog.
Somebody in the comments is saying, "Tell the story of us at the bridge."
Oh yeah, that's JD. That's our drummer. We when Charles and I went to practice, we went to go hang out and practice. JD literally lives 5 minutes from like the U.S. Mexico border. So we're like let's go over there. Let's just cross it, because you get to the border, you can cross and come back, and you can't spend too much time. But so what we did is we went in a circle, went to the Mexico side and came back. Well, on the way back, there's a guy, as people tend to do, just in the middle of nowhere playing an accordion, and I picked up on the song right away, because he mentioned that when I was talking about, I listened to all kinds of stuff, and I kind of surprised them, because they didn't know that I knew this stuff. So I basically started singing the song with the guy, as we're walking back to the other side. They're like, "What? You know that?" I was like, "Yeah." I mean, that's what I grew up with my parents listening to that stuff. So yeah, it was kind of funny how I kind of shocked them that I knew exactly the song the guy was playing, like after, I don't know, 4 notes.
What was the song? Was it anything specific, or you just picked up on what he was doing?
No, I knew the song. It was a conjunto band, as I like to call it, called Carlos y Jose, and it was like 70s, 80s, like northern Mexico kind of stuff, and I picked it up right away. I picked up like the melody on the accordion. I was like, "Oh yeah, I know that song." So
that's awesome.
Yep.
I work in an industry where the majority of the labor force is Latin, and so I've grown to have an affinity for that type of music too, and I've been listening to norteño and mariachi since I don't know the 80s, and I actually have part of my collection is got Veronica Castro and Jose and Ramon Ayala and Los Cardenales del Norte, and I mean, so
wow.
I tune into that stuff too. But like I said, if it's good, it's good. I don't care what kind of music it is. It just anyway.
Yeah, I like how he started off the show saying this is a death metal show, and here we are talking about Carlos y Jose. Hell yeah!
Well, now I think would be the time to come full circle and say that I probably have 400 Tejano sealed cassettes in my garage that I bought.
What?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
If I could get out of the house, I'd be there right now.
Everything, and I haven't gone through it to figure out what it is and what I have, but yeah, I'm telling you, it's 400 or 500 Tejano.
Rest in peace, Vicente Hernandez. Come on.
I remember when I got him from the dude, he put right on top. He put, "Shit, I'm gonna go downstairs and get one while you guys are talking, because you got to see this." So
yeah, hell yeah, I'm psyched.
He said, first of all, I think I paid him $40 for the lot, just nothing. And he goes, "Dude, these two right on top are gonna make your money back double." and it was 2 sealed Selena tapes. I was like, well, shit, I know who that is.
Right.
So I put them on top, and I've got them. They're up here somewhere. Oh shit, it's right here. You're gonna love this. Okay.
Uh-oh.
This is a great show. All right. So the dude brought me this bunch of tapes. Hang on. Y'all fuck with Heroes del Silencio.
I don't know that one. Sorry.
Heroes
that
del
one either.
Silencio.
That's
Oh,
TJ
no.
from Forebode. If you don't know Forebode, man, you need to know that band. All right. So the dude is pimping me this tape collection, and I'm into it. I'm like, yeah, man, I'll take them. I've never had Tejano stuff before. This would be great. He goes, dude,
Forebode.
you gotta check out La Movida. And I'm like, okay. He goes, there's 4 or 5 of them in there. They're sealed. And the name of the album is Panty Power. So there's La Movida holding panties, and it's called Panty Power. And you see
Wow.
they look like Judas Priest or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that Manowar? Who is that?
So I can't wait to get this thing on. I absolutely can't wait. And it is just the straightest pop Tejano music ever. And I was like, man, I'm wanting to hear, some south of the border fucking metal Panty Power. Come on, let's do this. And no, dude, it is.
Well, you need 3 Souls in My Mind or one of those bands. That's a heavy band.
La Movida. Check it out, baby.
Isn't Whip Striker? Whip Strikers from Mexico, aren't they?
I think so. I think Insecticide did some shows with them down there. I think that's the band.
Hey, isn't
Laments from
John's artwork on the sleeve, Rob?
What's that? Oh, it's
Sleeve.
local band called Mothership, and it says Trip on the Ship.
Yeah, is that Carcass's work?
No, actually, I've done some work for them. Is that the space? The 3 guys beaming?
No, this just says on the back. It just says Intergalactic Heavy Rock.
Yeah.
But
yeah, power. They're a power
up in here.
They're a power trio. They're excellent.
Yeah. We are so off the subject of this band. Oh my god.
No, that's fine. That's what happens whenever I get involved in anything.
Well,
that's the whole point.
It's kind of like their logo. It's just a big pile of goo, and we're just all, you know what I mean? It's freaking awesome.
So the dude that sold me the tapes just messaged me. So I'm going to show him a picture of us talking about this on the show.
Yep. But yeah, well, he's taking the picture. Our logo was done by our buddy Evil Dave from San Antonio, David Gonzalez. He does awesome work. Everybody always tells me that reminds them of Mad Balls, which I guess it kind of does look like it. So but he does an awesome job. So,
and he was in Allegiance, right? That's the band.
Scum Allegiance Dave. Yeah, I like to do this whenever I get online. I put my hand. There it is. Put my head where the logo is.
Perfect.
But yeah, Evil Dave. He's actually doing our artwork because the tape version is just going to be the logo. We figured the logo itself is artwork as it is because it's just so much going on. There's so much going on, and I'm like, well, we could just do that on the tape because it's perfect. It's landscape and all that. But he's actually making a collage album cover for the CD and vinyl versions of it. So just to have something different, because I don't just kind of feel bad when somebody's buying, CD and tape or LP of the same exact thing. So just trying to give people something different.
So what made you put out?
I'm looking at it on the Goat Throne Records site. I can see the artwork. It looks pretty cool. And so what's your time frame on the cassette, CD, and LP coming out? And when did you finish up the record?
Charles is much better at dates than me. So Charles, when did we record this?
JD recorded the drum tracks somewhere in mid-August. We went down there, at the end of July or at the beginning of July, mapped out the songs. Because we only had 3 practices. JD came in April and June. Francisco and I went down there sometime in July, I think July 30th. And we ran through the 10 songs. JD mapped out the tempos. He recorded them in his Negative Audio studios 2 weeks later, sent us the tracks, and we practiced them for 2 weeks. Then we went into Mike Barbecue studio,
Audio Alive,
Labor Day weekend. and we cranked out the 10 songs. And then Francisco and Robert went back in mid-October, October 14th, to record.
Yeah, I'm just amazed how he can remember like the
I was
exact
just
dates
gonna
of things.
say, I'm making notes and I'm hearing him rattle that off, and I'm like, good Lord, I don't know what I had for breakfast today.
He's like, I was like, I did. When he said Labor Day, I'm like, shit, we were there on Labor Day. I don't remember at all, man. But yeah, so that's another reason to have Charles in a band with you. He can just rattle off like dates, like when when did we record the Cemetery and LP, Charles?
December 2021. We recorded
There you go.
vocals Labor Day or Memorial Day weekend.
Amazing.
We're dismembered and discarded.
There you go.
Now that's the 7-inch that just came out.
Yeah. So
Well,
there's
yeah, it's the 7-inch is I think it's no longer available. It was a split, but since you mentioned it, our friend Roy, who does a label called Necroharmonic Productions, put out our 2019 demo and that 7-inch track on like a CD here like a month ago.
Oh yeah.
So these are available now. It's got pretty much just everything that we released, which is 5 songs. But you can hit up Necroharmonic and get this, or you can get it from me, however you want, or Charles.
I'm looking that up so I can put a link in the.
Yeah.
How many different colors did that come out? Because I've got a red one and a blue one and a black one.
The cassette?
No, the Cemetery and 7-inch.
Oh, it was just 2. It was just like blue. What was it? Blue, right, Charles?
Blue and red.
Blue and black.
Unless
Clay, you probably knew Clay, right? He was from.
Oh yeah, I know Clay Newell. Yeah.
Yeah. So unless Clay gave you like a red one or something like that, but I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, I don't care. I'm one of those people. I don't even keep my own stuff. I think I already gave all mine away. So, yeah.
B word.
That's an inside joke. And it's not the B word you're thinking of either. So. There's a certain band that like has this stigma where if you even say the name, you'll get like banned off of social media. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So we're like, we just say B word. That way we all know what we're talking about.
I guess I'm not on social media enough to know what that's all about.
Their singers in jail killed another member of the band.
Yeah. Norway.
Yeah.
Norwegian guy. Yeah. Pretty infamous guy.
All right. Person. Okay.
Oh, no. They're shutting the internet down.
Yeah. There's somebody knocking at your door right now.
Yeah, that's right. The FBI.
The FBI's there, yeah.
Yeah.
Secret police.
My head's already sort of spinning because because of the weather situation being locked down for 2 days. I just binge watched Tulsa King with Sly Stallone, and so the feds are all over those folks. It's really a good show.
Yeah, I kind of watched a little bit of it, like on YouTube with like these horrible quality, but I'm like, Sylvester Stallone, no matter how bad of an actor he is, he's still I still have to watch all his stuff for some reason.
I know. It's almost like he's embraced the fact that he's 75. It's 75. And he's still doing action pictures.
You better fucking embrace it.
That's right. But anyway, that's the way the FBI thing. I'm waiting for the pounding on the door. But anyway.
Yeah.
You know too much.
So what's in store for Eat the Decay coming in? You've obviously got the record coming out.
Yeah.
What's next?
I mean, I think I've turned down a handful of shows already, but we plan on playing shows. But man, I'm not. Me, myself, and Charles at the point where it's like, we're going to be super picky about when we play or who, where we play and who we play with, because I'm over like, hey, you guys want to play on a Wednesday, opening up for so and so band? Nah, not really. I mean, let some 25-year-old kid band do that. I'm past that. It's just.
I'm 100% there with you. I got so tired of 2:00 in the morning shows playing to the other band.
Exactly. So I'm like, and I think, and also with our drummer 6 hours away from us, we're not going to be able to just jump up and go play somewhere. So we're going to be very, very picky about when we play, make sure it's something that, we're going to try to play. Hey, let's play at 10:30 or, I don't want to play.
So what would you choose? Like Vakken or Milwaukee Metal Fest or Full Terror Assault or Hell's Heroes? Or, I mean, what if you got side stage at Hell's Heroes or something? What would be a show that you'd say, yeah, we'll definitely play that show?
Well, I mean, Charles, I can answer that, but Charles, you can answer that too.
Well, right next side stage, Hell's Heroes, Willows is cooking there, so maybe right next to his truck,
Yeah, well, Willows, he's a barbecue guy in Houston, so
yeah, amazing barbecue. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I would actually, Charles and I share this. We both would like to play in Japan. I'd rather go. I'd be cool to go play in Japan for, just other side of the world. But as far as the choices you give us, I mean, I'd rather play Houston. That way I don't have to go anywhere.
Understood. I know the road is not a friendly thing for the old man. So since I'm an old man too, even driving to Houston for the weekend to eat good food and listening to good music it's tough on the old body. So yeah, I get it, especially moving stuff in and out of a van and playing and then resisting the urge to maybe have a few adult beverages, et cetera. But
anyway,
totally. Yeah. Well, Japan have a screaming, wild, violent grindcore scene over there. They love it. So that would be totally. probably be the perfect fit for you guys.
Yeah. And what's really intriguing is our drummer actually played there in Dagra. They did a little Japanese tour. And the best thing he told us was like, dude, the shows are over like at 7, or what did he say, Charles?
Yes.
Yeah, they start like at 2 and they're over at 7. I was like, that's perfect. I don't want to stay up till 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning loading up.
15-hour flight there would kill me. So I'd have to be drugged or drunk.
Yeah, totally. And neither one of us do drugs or drink, but that'd be the time to start.
Yeah, when I was young, we did a show actually in Texas, and it ended up being a 14-hour drive because our van just wasn't working properly, and we couldn't get the van to go over 40 miles an hour the entire time, and the air conditioner wasn't working, and it was in the middle of the summer, 105 or 115 or something like that. We get there, we pull up to the stage at the show, and they're like, all right, you guys are on. We're like, no, we're not. There ain't no freaking way. So they swapped it. They gave us an hour. We swapped bands with the band who was playing after us, and we went to a hotel and took a quick shower. But yeah, that sucks, man. I don't know if I could do that now. I did it when I was in my 20s.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you had that what is it, the spirit of youth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't actually miss that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that ship has sailed.
I love playing on this. I love being on the stage, but man, some of that traveling sucked ass.
Well, loading out at 2 in the morning, and then I get up early anyways for work. So like we went to go see JD's band play in San Antonio, and we got back to the room at 5 in the morning. I'm awake. I was like hating life the next day.
Takes minimum 3 days to recover from like just going to a show now.
It makes me tired just talking about getting in at 3 in the morning.
Hey, Francisco, I see you have a Sound Exchange T-shirt on, and that's that place is legendary for having killer shows there. I used to book the Metal Meeting there back in the day, and even brought some bands down from Dallas, Fort Worth area to play there. Have you ever played there?
Oh yeah, I've played 2 or 3 times with my other band called HRA, which was like a fast hardcore band. And we played at the Richmond location, and then we played at the latest location. And I mean, Sound Exchange to me is like the record store that like every town should have, because the owners are all about like the local scene. It's they'll take your demos in, they'll take your LPs in, they'll they'll let you play there. They'll let you have pretty much free range of the place if you ask them, and they're real supportive. And as far as like for metal, if anybody comes to Hell's Heroes, because I know a lot of people come to that, make sure you visit Sound Exchange because their selection is unreal, man. So there's my Sound Exchange commercial. I'm sorry.
Well,
Right on.
and that's the reason why I asked, because I actually saw Insect Warfare there when they did the kind of the reunion thing. I mean, it was people hanging from the stairs and the rafters and outside the windows. It was just it was insanity, but it was a friendly insanity, if that makes any sense. So as you've been around the world and played your music, et cetera, are there like cities that are more friendly or violent or whatever? Because it seems like Houston is. I've had a recent experience. We went to a Creeping Death, Tribal Gaze, and Fugitive were playing, and it was a video shoot, and it was like unabated violence. It didn't care if you were a woman, a kid, an old man. It didn't matter. It was just boots flying, fists flying. But I noticed that Houston seems to be although an active crowd, it seems to be a little more friendly, if I can put air quotes around that. Have you ever had that experience, or what do you think about that, Charles?
The shows that I attended, it was like that. The pit was contained, right? I did attend some shows at the White Swan with that crowd killing bullshit, and fuck all that. Fuck the karate bullshit, because if someone doesn't want to be a part of the pit, they don't want to be a part of pit. So don't involve them. It could be a woman, a kid, whatever. But no, for the most part, Houston has been cool in that regard. Back in the day, I mean, that's what it was, right? You respected the pit. If you wanted to get in there, you got in there. If you didn't, you didn't. But Houston has always been, it's always been super cool in that regard. And if, the one thing was that if someone fell, you picked them up,
Yeah, I mean, I think Houston's always been like that. I think kind of like the circles, the scenes I've mostly been involved in, there's a lot of like friendly, like heckling kind of thing where, you just kind of tease each other, but it's all in fun. But shows for me in Texas, San Antonio always seems to be really wild. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the music that we play, but it seems like every time my band HRA would play there, there'd be like breakout of fights and whatnot. So, but I've played, I'm trying to think. I was lucky enough to go play in like Guatemala in 2013, filling in for that band E.T.D, which is like a black metal band from Texas now. Yeah, and that was the most violent thing I've ever seen in my life. I think I've told this on my show several times, but we played like this huge hall kind of place. Stage is like 10 foot high, and right in the center of the stage, right on the front of the stage, there's like a drop. It's like a 10-foot drop, like just you could just fall 10 feet straight down, and the only thing they had protecting like the people was like this real flimsy barricade that it's not going to hold anybody, So we're sitting there playing. I remember I looked to the side and people are like starting like almost like knock that barricade down. I was like, oh no, man, somebody's about to die here. But you could see like the three supposed bouncers trying to like push everybody back. I'm like, oh man. But so I stayed as far away from that 10-foot drop as I possibly could. But that was that crowd was completely insane.
The E.T.D Machete thing. Now, were you playing with Dave Collier? Was he still in the band? Or
Yes, my band. I filled in like on 7 live shows, and it was Matt Hefner and Dave had just joined the band, and they're like, "Hey, dude, you wanna play bass and go do some shows?" I'm like, yeah, well, I thought it was like San Antonio or Dallas. No, we're gonna go.
Guatemala is not close to San Antonio.
No, it's like no, we're going to Guatemala, and we're going to Mexico City and some other place. I'm like, oh man. I was like, all right. And that was my first time like playing outside of the country, you know. So, but it was unforgettable memories, man.
So is HRA still doing stuff? Because man, that's one of my favorite. They're kind of a crusty crossover, kind of a hardcore. I don't know how to describe them. They're a heavy roach activity. That's what the acronym is.
Yeah.
Make sure I get that right. I don't want to, eat the disease or eat the eat the Dynaball or whatever.
Yeah, no, not really. We were pretty active from like, what was it, like 08 to like 2019, but it just kind of, everybody got kind of busy, you know, that kind of thing, and we haven't really done anything since like 2019. We had like a record release show. Like our last release was a 7-inch, and we had a nice sound exchange. Actually, that was our record release, and ironically, that was like the last show we ever played. So our like record release was like the last live show we ever did, which is pretty funny, I think. But
and don't Robert from HRA is singing for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good point. Yeah, the singer in HRA is the singer in E.T.D. And I say E.T.D now because it's just much easier, and I like acronyms. You know, that's the last.
You mean like PLF or HRA or BBT or?
Yeah, it's easier to write, easier to remember, and
we'll all be put on KP.
Yep. So
yes. What's up with this comment right here?
I wasn't in the band at that time, so I can't answer that. I only played, like I said, Central America, like Southern Mexico, and I played like California, LA, and Oakland with the band. So that was it. And every time we played, and I still laugh about this, like every place we played with that band was like, all right, guys, you can't go outside because this is literally like the most dangerous place in this whole town. I was like, oh man, can we play somewhere nice for once, you know? But you know, but yeah. So it was. I wasn't in the band. Sorry, Dylan. I wasn't in the band at the time.
Man, now I need to know the machete story.
Somebody will pop in here. And
I believe that La Movida and panties were involved.
Maybe they were fighting over the panties.
What does La Movida mean?
The movement.
The movement. Okay. Huh.
Look at that one. Eat Tortas Daily. I like.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's, and that's another good thing about having an acronym name. People will like, you know, make up their own names. So it's like, you know, they take a part in the band, kind of, you know.
Well, like the first time I saw PLF, I said, "What does PLF stand for?" And someone said, "Pulverizing Lethal Force." And I said, and then somebody else said, "No, Pretty Little Flower." And I'm like, well, that couldn't be any more juxtaposed. What is it? But to your point, E.T.D could be anything, I guess.
Could be anything. It started off as Eat the Decay, but I'm like, you know, it was easier to get a logo like this than it would be like, you know, three words. So I kind of like it better like that because it's just easier to say, rolls off the tongue and all that.
Let's hear it, Fraser. Come on.
Right? He's been teasing that.
Yeah.
Oh, Fraser's actually the guy that told me about your show like last year sometime. So.
Oh, right on. Thanks, Fraser.
Yeah, he's been around since day one, I think.
If Fraser's not here, something is really wrong.
Well, you know what? I got scared. I literally got scared when he wasn't around for your New Wave of British Heavy Metal show. Was that last week?
That was last week.
Because I mean, that's all he ever talks about, and I'm like, where's Fraser? You know, so I thought, I was like, well, I guess, you know, we lost Fraser. I don't know.
It was odd not having him on for that one. So I guess he's just going to tease us with the name.
Hey, well, let me ask you this. I've known Fraser I know John has known him forever, but how do you guys, whenever he first started commenting, because Fraser does voice talk or whatever, how do you guys decipher what he says when
I speak Fraser?
Well, yeah, so do we.
I've learned how to, you know, and the thing is when he was not sober, and now that he is sober, the dialect doesn't change at all. In fact, I thought he was still drinking at one point in time, but no, That's just the way he sounds. And he
Yeah.
he was a better drunk than I thought he was, because he still sounds the same. And but I've known Frazier since, I mean, I lived down there for almost 18 years. So
Wow.
before I moved to Dallas, Fort Worth. And but yeah, man, pretty solid guy. And man, you talk about a collection of music. Holy cow.
Oh, yeah, no. Frazier's the best, man. I tease him, but yeah, he's the best.
Yeah.
Frazier is the
He
best.
told me
I
about
met him at
you.
Hell's Heroes. And
Did you? Oh, man.
yeah, I felt like a moron because this dude comes up and is like, "Hey man, Metal Round Table," or whatever. And I'm like, how the hell does anybody know? What? Nobody watches us.
We need more
Sure enough,
serious.
there's
We
Frazier, and we
need
got
more
pictures
serious
and-
listeners like Frazier Dawson.
God, I love Frazier. Yeah.
No,
He
totally.
loves metal.
Here
we go. Here, speak some Frazier here, Carcass. You ready?
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
I'm gonna just I don't know. I
We're
got
doing the
nothing.
episode on you now, Frazier, and you can't even. Come on.
You should
Oh, no,
shoulder shirt.
He cracks under pressure.
Yeah.
He was at Saturday, and he took a picture of JD in my jam room that we're using, and we've got a bunch of old pictures up on the wall. So he got banned from Facebook like immediately for.
Oh, I know what he's trying to say. I got it. I think he's talking about my shirt. He says you should show your shirt.
Oh, you already did.
You should shoulder shirt, right, Frazier? That's what you're trying to say.
That's good. You figured it out.
Wow.
Oh,
See, you have better proximity to him. You can catch the vibe better than I can over the internet.
Thanks, dude. We are just as unorganized, unscripted, and unprepared as we and unrepaired.
We're unprepared at times, also.
You see, you get exactly what you're seeing. This is it. It doesn't matter if
It's
you're talking Skid Row or brutal death metal. It's pretty much the same.
I mean, the Metal Roundtable. The whole point is a bunch of dudes just hanging out, talking metal and music.
Right.
That's all.
Oh, he means the shirt that JD made.
Yeah, 1 second. You guys got to see this. It's Frazier.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Frazier's on a shirt.
Yeah.
Production value. Production
I saw
value.
a picture of this.
This goes to JD for making it. He brought it down when he came down to practice on Saturday. So this is pretty classic.
Man, we got a bunch of names of people watching the show that I've never.
Yeah, and I'm
Glad you guys
guessing
are
that's
here.
Francisco and Charles is doing, and thank you very much for doing that.
Carl from Pius Levas, a killer band out of San Antonio. That's who we saw play with Hexea 2 weeks ago.
Cool.
The big reveal. Here we go.
The big reveal. Can I get a drum roll, please?
Rob, can you blow him up?
You want a blast beat? Better recognize that. Oh my gosh, I've got to have one.
And that's his cat Angel. If you know anything about Frazier.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
who made that?
Actually, our drummer JD printed a few of them up.
Oh my God, I have to have one.
There you go, JD. I don't know if you're still on here, but yeah, they were. I really didn't think he was going to make them, but yeah, he made them. So Frazier's probably wearing his now. I don't know.
Probably
oh my
so.
God, I've got to have that.
Yep. So that's it.
Each one.
Oh man.
Yes,
well,
sir.
I don't even know where we go after that.
Well, we're getting near the top of the hour. Generally, we try to keep it to about an hour. So, parting shots. So you got. So, Charles, I'm going to ask you, since you're better with the whole calendaring thing. So, tape, CD, vinyl. What are we looking at date for the dates on those?
The tape comes out February 28th on Gothorn Records, or maybe a week or two earlier. I don't think we have a date yet for the CD on Vomit Records, but the CD is going to be clear, so it's going to be badass.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, Francisco, we don't have a date yet, right? We're waiting on the artwork.
Yeah, waiting on the cover art, but I think he already sent like the discs possibly to production. Just going to do the covers and booklet and all that separately because I got a bunch of stuff that we're gonna put on the CD booklet that's not on the tape and whatnot. And then vinyl, even though now it's a little quicker because it was like almost a year and a half. Last I heard from some friends of mine, it's like maybe like 5 to 6 months now. Once you from like turnaround time.
So
No,
maybe by
it's more like 7
the
months.
fall.
Okay, well, yeah, but it's getting better. It's still taking forever.
It's better, yeah.
So
I work for like 4 different record companies, and we put out vinyl all the time, and it's most of them are around 7 months now.
Yeah.
But it's better than a year.
yeah, that's insane. Yeah, it's like
So
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to ask you guys. I mean, I know just from some shows I watch, Rob, you do mastering?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been doing it for about 25 years. I started, oddly enough, I don't know if I feel good about telling this story or not, but Ty Tabor mastered my first album back in the day, and he did a good job on it, but he was very brutally honest about some things that I needed to do differently. Specifically, I remember him saying that is the single worst snare drum I have ever heard in my life. And that sticks with you when you're young and trying to figure your way in this world.
Sure.
So I went out and bought a piece of mastering gear after that off of eBay for a couple $100. And I used that same piece of gear off and on for literally the past 25 years. I don't use it much anymore because everything is software based, but that's what got me started was Ty Tabor making fun of me.
Wow. Well, he hadn't heard St. Anger's snare drum yet at that time.
Right. Yeah. It was pretty awful, man. It was rough. It was an electronic kit that we built. I'll tell that story someday, but yeah, I've been doing that for a while. Scott and I work together on projects all the time. So if you ever need something, hit me up.
Yeah, cool. And Scott, you do labels, right? You said?
I'm a graphic designer. I do a layout for a bunch of different.
Oh, okay, cool.
Vinyl and CDs and cassettes and all that kind of stuff. I do cover artwork and stuff like that too, but I do a lot of layout, a lot of reissues and resurrecting old covers from Universal. We'll do something for Capitol or Universal, and they'll come back and we're gonna put this album out. Okay, where's the artwork? Oh, we don't have any, but here's an old beat up record. Can you get it from that?
So have you guys has there ever been a release where it's like John's artwork, your layout, and Rob's mastering? Has there been
Vindicator?
Yes, Vindicator.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Thrash
cool.
metal band. Yeah.
I'm sure there's got to be another one or two, but that's the one that comes to mind.
TJ's comment.
It does sound pretty muddy, doesn't it?
Saying what?
Yeah.
Well, let's do some parting shots. Hey, I want to say thank you guys so much for coming on the show. But yeah, let's round it out with whatever parting shots you guys want. And please let us know when the stuff drops so that we can put the links up on the page.
Yeah, for sure. Charles, you want to go first?
Just thanks for having us on here. It's always fun to sit around and shoot the shit about music and everything that comes with it, That's Rob and Carcass and Nathan and I do when we're down there in Jones Creek. So, and it's a blast to have jam with Francisco and JD. I mean, both of them have done so much music wise, and it's fun to just be in the room being creative,
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks to you guys for having us on. We're a fairly new band, but we're like, we're been playing stuff since at least early 90s, playing in bands. So we know a thing or two about what to do and what not to do by now. And check out I have a YouTube show called Jamming Out All Badass. It's JOABA, where we just sometimes do stuff like this, and sometimes I interview people. Well, I say interview, it's more of a chat kind of thing. Try not to take it too seriously, but yeah, there's been some mostly death metal, heavy metal, black metal type of music, hardcore, people from all over the world basically that I've had on, and I've been doing it for going on almost a couple of years now, and I can't believe I'm still doing it, but I'm still doing it. So
yeah,
check that out.
We must
I
be
just
hooked up
subbed.
on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or something because I see that come through a lot.
Yeah. So check out the band. If you're on Instagram, we're at EXTXDX. And I just barely made that page, not even a month ago. So just to kind of keep people abreast of what's going on. And yeah, that's it. I appreciate you guys giving us the time to come on here and talk about La Movida.
and
Patty power.
and going
Patty
South
power.
Dakota and accordion.
Penny power.
I did not know how this show was going to go, but I could not. If you'd given me 50 guesses, I wouldn't have thought we'd have talked about all that shit. So anyway, well, you can follow us on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at Metal Rob's Records. You can follow the Carcass on Instagram at Carcass John Art. You can follow the band Eat the Decay, E.T.D, at EXTXDX. I think I got that right. And also, Scott is the king of us all because he has 5 billion followers on YouTube. You can find his channel, and he covers literally all things heavy metal. You just find Scott Waters on YouTube. So that's it, boys. Any parting shots before we head out?
No.
Penny power.
Patty power.
Hell yeah. Hang on. And just to prove it, look, there's the Selena tapes.
Ah, hell yeah. The Queen.
Oh, yeah. All right.
No, those are the kings right there. You got the queen in one hand and the kings on the other.
For episode 165 of the Metal Roundtable, I am Metal Rob saying until next time,
Metal
will prevail.
prevail.
And don't you forget it, Panty Power forever.
Penny power.